What is going on, YouTube? Mr. Reefer FL signing in. It has been a little while. My apologies on that. It's been a crazy year so far. Hope everybody's having an amazing 2019. Wanted to kind of go through some updates here. I know I haven't really been that great about the updates past couple months. So, a lot of changes to cover, and also a little bit on the underside of the actual tank that gave a lot more stability. Made a couple changes that we'll cover here in a little bit. So again, as you guys can see, totally different layout, still the same rock structure for the most part, but again, switched a lot of stuff around with the coral. So first things first, here in the back, I added in a Goniapora, which the Mandarin seems to like hanging out with it a lot. I don't know what's up with that, but apparently it doesn't really sting him, and man, he just chills, like that's his little area. So also added some Xenia grass, which I love, man. The pulsing is just such a cool addition, and you really can't see it quite as much. I have it in a pretty good flow area, but you can still see it does pulse. Added this watermelon chalice. Oh my goodness, man, I cannot wait for this to get bigger. It's just, I mean, it's growing quick too. And another favorite right here, right below it, this green carpet anemone. I can't wait for hopefully the clowns to identify that this is another spot for them, and maybe they'll host both, maybe they won't, who knows. Either way, I love it. I did actually recently, so I fragged out, or I didn't frag, I took a little piece of the golden torch that actually wasn't attached, it was its own little head, and traded it in to actually get some credit towards this. So ultimately, you know, starting to make some trades, starting to work some deals here based off of coral growth. Really happy to see that happening. I had kind of a situation here with I think it's Stiletto or Styla or something like that. It's an SPS. You can see it's kind of got some algae growth on it. You can see a few of the little green spots. I had another Hollywood Stunner chalice. It was massive. I honestly had no clue at night their sweeper tentacles were so aggressive or long. And I had this thing placed right next to it, and it got wrecked, as you can see. So really hoping it makes a comeback. I obviously relocated it, and yeah, the fairy wrasse, man, I love him. He's an awesome personality. And the Tang, man, they're just like, these guys are like my best friends. I love them. So I also made a little Xenia garden over here. I'm sorry, not Xenia, Zoa garden. And you can see I got the Chaos Zoas, a couple Sunny D, scrambled eggs, and some Nightmare right there in the back. These are called like moon dusters. I don't know, man. They're really cool looking though. I like them. They got the little feather worm that's really made a nice little home in the same patch, so that's pretty cool. Love all the symbiotic ocean relationships, you know. And so up top, you'll notice that I really put in a little bit more of the SPS, obviously, because I got higher flow up top, and they got to be closer to light. So you'll notice that a lot of my flow is adjusted to be at the top half, really, of the tank, even though it still gets down to the bottom, but really high up top. And so anyway, yeah, I added in, you know, this piece right here. I love it. It's grown really quick too, as a matter of fact. It's got the pink tips. I'm not sure if it has a name or not. I just really like the look. That's really doing well. It's actually grown quite a bit. I call it the cactus, but I'm not really sure again what that one, if it even has a name. The red ones, you know, I wanted to bring the red and green versatility. They really contrast, you know, well together. And then that's supposedly a Walt Disney frag, but we'll see how it colors out, man. I like the look of it, so we'll see what happens. Some green Slimer, and I'm not sure the name of that one right there, the bluish one, but I really, again, like the color. And then the red planet right there. Oh my goodness, it actually looks like you're flying into like a red planet as you're coming in, you know? Super cool. Anyway, so all kinds of, you'll notice I fragged a little bit of the green star polyp, and I'm growing it over here because it's done such a good job over here. So it all started initially from a piece like maybe that big or a little bit smaller. And yeah, it's doing really good. So up here, again, a lot of SPS. The anemone, man, this thing has grown to just a whole new level. And also kind of switched up a couple, you know, there was a black and white clown in here. I initially thought it was a male. It was small enough, but it just really, I think it might have been already turning to a female. All I know is that she did not get along with the other one immediately when I put it in there. So anyway, I went back to the store. I found this little guy and loved his pattern, the bullet hole pattern. kind of want to call him 50 Cent because he looks like he got shot like 9 times, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, he's a G. But we'll see what, you know, the name thing gets us here a little bit. We'll see what happens. The dunking coral are doing really good. And I got the blue slimer there, which has been thriving. It's actually starting to grow out over the rock there on the base of it. So, again, really good seeing awesome growth. And so we go over here. I really like that piece. I forget the name of it, but just filling in everything nice. And seeing a ton of growth from like the acans. Those things have just probably doubled or tripled in size this year so far. And the colors are just very vibrant and they're thriving. And the Space Invader, I just moved it yesterday. You can see the rock is like pretty white. I had it down lower, but I decided I'm finally gonna give it a little bit more light. And I think it looks pretty glorious over there. And on the end cap, just holding it down, you know? Everything else, again, all this, I think that one is called like what was that, bonsai or something like that? The one with the black and the white and the black with the green dots. And it's growing super quick. So I really, again, I'm seeing a ton of growth here recently from a lot of these coral, which I didn't see for a while. And like the jack-o'-lantern coral here, it's actually gone down over the side. And you can see it's like over the other side, which when I initially got this little frag, I mean, it was like a dot. So seeing finally a lot of progress, and I just added the Bizarro Cephastria here, and you know, Scolies are doing amazing. Got the Croc Island Scolie and the Bleeding Apple. The Dragon Sulfavia has really gotten big, as well as the Welso. Ultra Welso is doing great. Everything's, man, it's just crazy to see how many different things to me can, you know, simultaneously survive with the same parameters, same nutrients, you know, a little bit of different versatility in food, but I mean, overall, these are all from different parts of the world. You know, when you look at the derivative, where are they from? And here they are in this 165-gallon tank. You know, I got a sump down below, but I mean, a couple extra gallons, and everything thrives, you know, together. So again, it's just crazy to me that this is all balanced. You know, it took a long time to figure out really like where things needed to be, how much lighting had to be, as well as flow, and even just like figuring out how to tune in the lights and everything. It took some time. And definitely there was some trial and error, there's some mistakes, but you know, it's been about a year now, and again, as I said in the beginning, I'm finally seeing some major stability. The water clarity has just really come up, and everything is just thriving. So what made it, you know, really all of a sudden start thriving for me was, and now it's not on right now because obviously it's daytime, but this refugium right here. So I added some chaeto grass and a couple other just, you know, plants, and I picked up this Fuge Light. And ultimately, it's from AI Prime. I do everything pretty much for the most part AI Aqua Illumination, because I can use the app, and the app really just keeps it simple. You can like literally preset all the settings. They'll come on at a certain time, they'll turn off at a certain time, and you really don't have to think about anything. So I do travel a lot for work, and that's a huge thing for me, was automating everything. You know, I got the auto top off for the, you know, fresh water, and I even have, you know, I put on this auto feeder, which, funny story, this thing took forever for me to figure out how to actually use, because there's this like weird setting that I didn't know initially. Finally got that thing figured out, so when I leave, I only have to have somebody come over once a day to give them a little bit of actual meat, you know, like some shrimp or mysis shrimp or something where, you know, they're getting some nutrients from the meat, because the Antheas, they really gotta eat, you know, multiple times a day, and it has to be some meat. So anyway, they're all doing really well. Again, I couldn't, you know, put a price on this thing. I love these guys. Every one of these fish to me are like, you know, a child. And each coral, you know, to me, it's mind-boggling that really, if you do your job right, coral will live forever, you know, and multiply at that. So that to me is just like, you know, I could have these things. I'm 30 right now. I could have these things when I'm 70 years old. The same coral I'm looking at right now, just much bigger and healthier. And to me, that's just such a cool thing to be a part of, you know, and knowing how, you know, rough things are in the world. I feel like it's kind of my way of giving back right now, and maybe it'll lead to something much bigger. But if you guys have any questions, you know, sorry I rambled, it's almost 10 minutes now. Meant to be a quick update, but you know, so much to cover. But if you guys have any questions, you know, feel free to please message me. And you know, any constructive criticism, man. I'm always trying to learn. You know, I'm still a beginner in this hobby, and I always trying to soak in as much as possible. So please keep following, hit that subscribe button. I'll be better about updating you guys in the future, and it's a pleasure. Take care, guys.